you know, I would say that it would be more valuable for people to learn the spirit of debate, that is the spirit of questioning, right? Of learning how to ask questions, of learning how to demand reasons, how to give reasons, what constitutes a good reason for something, what constitutes a bad reason. Um, and I think what I'll call the spirit of debate is tremendously valuable, no matter what one does, right? So you can apply it to science, you can apply that to anything.
Well, what I would advise is what every teacher advises, which is use this opportunity to explore ideas. Don't think that it's only about winning or losing, but take this opportunity to explore all kind of ideas, take all kind of position, and see what happens. That's I mean, debate, as I say in my book, should be fun. I mean, it's a fun practice, and it's a very engaging practice, and it's fun because it allows you to explore all kind of alternatives in a kind of playful way.
Mm. So let me ask you now, more bringing this Nalanda debate, which
If I may say, can I say something?
yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, it's a real, because it's done in a particular context. It's a very safe practice, in the sense that, people are there to learn, and they know that everybody has basically, or should have at least, the same goal. I contrast this with what I see in the academy, where people there is all kind of political considerations, and people are worried that if they say something, this is going to be this is going to look bad, and this and that, and this is a big obstacle to the exploration of ideas. This is not the case in the monastery. In the monastery, there is everybody is there to learn, and so they should really use this time and enjoy the practice.
I think the few points that I think I have already expressed, and so therefore, to the course participants, I think this is really very important, and I think definitely you will find it very interesting. And sometimes when you study to learn something new, it will take some time for you to find taste or interest in it. And what I'm trying to say is that we have been too much attractive, or spending too much time with the physical things, as you mentioned, even the mathematics or science experiments and everything. So therefore, we're not able to give much time for our mental feelings and the mental processes to become more, what should I say, playful, or to become more practical, to be a more important part of our day-to-day lives activities. So if we pay less attention to the physical things and started to think more about these mental processes, and definitely I think after some time we will find more what should I say, benefits coming out of it. So then at that point we will see the relevant and the result, so then we will find it more helpful. So that's my thinking. On a personal level, as I said before, definitely this style of debate, it really helps you to be more focused what you're trying to study, and also memory and attention, definitely the instant memory. And also what I used to say is the selective memory to whatever you have in your brain or memory that you can instantly remember at that time. So these things are really necessary for all the students in the modern world, and colleges and the schools. It can be very handy for day-to-day life, and also. So these are the few things that I wanted to share. And finally, I wanted to say that this project definitely will be a result, and definitely will be a success.
Well,
Thank you.
So when I learned debating, I didn't know Tibetan. So I had a teacher who was a very bright monk that was assigned to me to teach me Tibetan. And every day would come and teach me something. And I could see he was so bored with me. He just couldn't wait to get out of the room and do his thing. And I thought, what does he like to do? And he seems to really enjoy this debating thing. So I'll ask him to teach me that. So at least he won't get so bored with me. So imagine I learned debating to learn Tibetan language. So at the beginning, it was just crazy and it's very hard and I couldn't understand stuff. But what my, it was just brilliant because first of all, I learned the language really well doing this. And it didn't, maybe after the first month it just clicked and then off we went and we had an amazing time. So if you're a young debater, if you're new, just it's hard at the beginning, don't ask too many questions, just enjoy the process, just wait out a little bit and you'll see at one point when you just clicks, then you'll have so much fun. It is a really fun thing to do. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
it's great fun. Yeah. So have a little patience at the beginning, and then once you get going, you won't stop for sure.
would you give to someone just learning to debate?
Well, when you are a beginner, you of course you have to learn to the how to system works. The how to debate works. That's the you have to know the first time how to this debate system works, how to answer goes, how to challenge. This is the definitely important things. Otherwise, other thing. Secondly, you have to choose some of topic that you really interested, and also some of the topic is not easily to find your answers, but really keeps to your curiosity constantly. For example, what is the definition of life, and what is the meaning of life, and what is the the meaning of what is the nature of consciousness in the nature of mind. All these things, there's so many topics that you should focus on the while debating the debate. And also you have to try to apply some of the debate and your own introspective. And that also important, because ultimately debate is try to improve your personality, the mental skill, and try to your personal intelligence. And although and also at the same time, you have to better person. You also how to control your emotions, and how to behave to show other people's nice person, something like that. So you have to kind of those things. I mean, it's a there's so many things. It's a very if you go, it's going to be really interesting, and you'll get lots of within that. Even though you're not focused on the how to enjoyment, but the debate will bring lots of your enjoyment and your inner healthy, which is a very enjoyment. That's kind of the most it's a beauty of debate. Sometimes if you are really into the debating, and the end of the debate, you'll get lots of enjoyment. And also sometimes when you find really new questions, that's you can give to your depender without any answers. And also it's a your enjoyment and your curiosity continuously growing, which is really is.
Whether you're debating in the Tibetan debating courtyard or debating in England, what I'm referring to, and you just stubbornly hold on to your view, no matter how many good debates are being thrown at you, you just hang on like a freaking idiot. And I've found that sometimes in an academic setting in America or overseas, in debating sometimes with English academics, there's I've found that they are used to debate and will stubbornly hold on to their wrong idea in the face of being presented with good responses from me. And it's good to hang on, to a certain degree.
So through my experience, right? So one thing is, don't think it is so hard. Yeah, from when I was from beginning when I was learning the Buddhism and the debate, and many nuns I have seen, they are blaming it is a very hard subject, and also many people thinking it's not related with the day-to-day life. It's kind of like philosophical, like a subject, and so don't think like this. It's very easy, and also you can apply to every subject like math and to other science, and also day-to-day thinking and day-to-day life. And we cannot, how can I say, we cannot far away from the debate study, especially at even one moment. So for the new learner, never think it is a very hard subject. It's a very easy subject, but you have to put more time and more energy on it, because when you learn the debate, there's more. You have to spend more time and more thought, right? More thinking. You have to always. There's no phone with you. There's no computer with you. There's no instant message with you, because you have to use your mind. Especially for two object, and then you can say why this is this and this is this and that is this and that is this. How can you say so something is right and something is wrong, and then you will find more and more reasons. So that's why you have to, I highly request to the new learner, don't think it is a hard subject, and also don't think it is a very like academic level, and also don't think it is like impossible to learn. It's very easy to learn, and it's not hard, and it is like you can apply your day-to-day life. And also one thing is the most important, you have to spend your time and your, how can I say, it's a thinking or like thought. You have to put more like energy to learn it, right? So it's not easy to improve one day or 1 week. You have to learn, continue.
So I think when I came to the monastery, as I said, I was very focused on meditation. I wasn't so sure I wanted to do a lot of study. But something that occurred to me as I started getting involved in the monastic lifestyle. As a teenager in America, like a lot of teenagers in America, I had you'd say, the ambition to be a professional athlete. It seems that this is what people think is the greatest, most prestigious thing. It's what is, as young people, we look up to these athletes as role models and think, I want to be like that. So even though it was probably going to be 1 in a million, or really pretty much no chance that I would have been a professional athlete, because I wasn't even the best athlete in my school or even on my team or anything like that. But still, there's this ambition. And I put a lot of effort into this, training myself. And some of my teachers in school encouraged me to do things like join the math team, because actually I probably would have been much more of a star on the math team than I was on the football team. But this, just where people put their effort into, and what for me was inspiring at the time. And I don't see it as having been a waste of time, because I really learned to discipline myself. But it never occurred to me that put that level of effort and discipline into training my mind. And this is what has happened. I've been in the monastery for 15 years now. So I spent 2 years learning Tibetan language. So I've been 13 years now doing debate. And in many ways, I consider this as though I'm a professional athlete. My job is to train my mind in debate. So either through debate itself or through all kinds of supplementary things. When we train, if you want to be a professional football player, you don't just play football all the time. You do weightlifting and jogging, other things that supplement that. And other things we're doing within our program here, our study program here, are supplements for that. And the fortunate thing is that you can just keep getting better and better. So I'm 38 years old now, and I feel that every year my debate improves. Whereas if I had become a professional football player, almost certainly by the time I was 38, I would be in decline and probably be close to the end of my career. This is recognized in Buddhist thought. The great Indian philosopher Dharmakirti, he gave the analogy of jumping. He said that comparing training the mind to training the body. So if I jump, if I want to be a high jumper, for example, I can keep improving my jump to a certain point, but there's definitely a limit to the body. Nobody is going to be able to jump 10 feet in the air. And if somebody can jump, say, 3 feet in the air, they can maybe increase it by a certain amount, but there's a limit to how far that person is going to be able to increase that. And furthermore, if I jump, so for example, if today I can jump 3 feet, tomorrow I want to jump 3 feet and 1 inch, then I have to jump 3 feet plus 1 inch. I can't just start from 3 feet and jump an extra inch. It's not that easy. But Dharmakirti points out that the mind is different. So if I want to train my mind, for example, in compassion, if for years and years I train my mind in compassion, eventually what was something I had to achieve with effort will just be the natural state of my mind. So therefore I can start at that base level and increase it. So it's like if we could measure compassion on a scale of 1 to 10, and say on a daily basis my level is 2, but then when I train intentionally to try to generate compassion, I get to 4. But then after many years, 4 just might be my base level. So when I train, I can get to 6. So it can just keep going up and up. Now, as I said, there's supplementary aspects to this. We don't just debate all the time. And one of these things that we do in the monastery a lot is memorization. So a lot of people also find this a little bit of put off by it. We hear about memorization and we think it just means you're learning by rote. You take in information and spit it out, so you're not really learning anything. But I think this is really a misunderstanding of the value of memorization. As I said, if we want to play soccer, for example, you have to do a lot of jogging. Being able to run 10 miles is not going to make you a good soccer player. But if you can't run 10 miles, you're probably not going to be a professional soccer player. You have to train your body. And the more the better physical conditioning you have, then you'll be a better soccer player. It'll help your skills, other skills. So likewise with memorization, what we're doing is training the mind, expanding our capacity through being able to keep enormous amounts of material in memory, because some monks memorize thousands of pages of texts and can recite them from memory. With a mind like that, you can go through a lot of subjects and think about things and compare things. And when you're debating with somebody, one of the important things in debate is to remember what the person said. You know, if somebody says something to me, I want to get them to contradict themselves, I have to remember everything they've said before. And this becomes very useful not just in debate, but in our interactions with others. If we have a very good memory, we can remember all the things this person has ever said to us. And this will help us to understand where they're coming from. And if we want to argue with them, we can be more pointed in our arguments. Otherwise, we just tend to say the same thing over and over again and go around in circles. And if we're not just arguing, but we just want to help the person, if we remember, so for example, if I'm a psychologist and a patient is talking to me, it's very useful if I can remember everything they've said. Whereas if I keep forgetting the earlier things they've said, it's hard for me to really help them to generate much insight or to really see deeply into their problems. So with memorization, we just train this more and more. Train the mind's ability, because as again, the mind can, to be able to memorize 2,000 pages is exponentially more than most people can do. Most people probably would have a hard time memorizing 1 page. But if we train, it's possible to keep increasing that.